Hey y'all, it's Ayanna. Welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on all my socials at _ringbells on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Y'all, if you do follow me on Instagram, you saw that I posted. I've been having a rough week, a rough last couple of days, so my bad on being a little slow. We're getting y'all a video up, but yeah, y'all, you can see I'm in a new setting because it's the summertime. Like I said, y'all know I do staycations, vacations, little weekend getaways and stuff like that, y'all. So yeah, it's been a little crazy. But y'all, we are finally going to be doing our Tell All Tuesdays to begin on this Tuesday. So some of y'all have been sending me some stories, so I'm excited to like read through those and get that up for y'all. I'm recording this now. It's 12 on Sunday, so I'm gonna try my hardest to edit and get this up for y'all tonight. But yeah, y'all, yeah, and oh my god, look at this, y'all. Aren't these so pretty? Y'all, like I said, y'all, I was having a rough week, and my boyfriend, he really did come through for me. So shout out to him. But yeah, y'all, without further ado, as you can tell by this title, this is a story time about he had a secret, because I don't really want to give it away in the title or whatever. But yeah, y'all, let's jump right in. All right, y'all, so you already know, gotta get y'all the background, gotta set the scene. So y'all, this story takes place, this was a few years ago actually. This was like pre-COVID and everything. So I want to say it had to be like maybe 2018, like 2018, 2019 or so. So y'all, remember I told y'all after I was done working at Walmart overnight or whatever, and the lady that I was working with, she got me a job at the bank that I started working at. Now y'all, remember I told y'all at the bank I met Selena when the last story time about me and her went out with I don't even know what I named that girl at this point. Monica, I think, or Tamara, I think I named her. But yeah, y'all, so this takes time, like, place around it. So like I said, me and Selena started getting real cool, and the other girl that, like I said, was in our little group, I don't know, do she really need a name? I guess we could just give her a name now. Hopefully y'all remember it the next time I decide to do a story time about her. I don't know what we could call her. Chelsea. First thing that came to my head. So we're gonna name her Chelsea. So Chelsea at this job, like when I started working at the bank, you had and then when I started working at the bank, y'all, the lady that got me the job, she was actually the head teller at the bank. So I was just gonna be a regular teller there. So it was me, Chelsea, and Selena. She had started maybe like a month or so after I did. So me and Chelsea had already, built a bond. Now I'm not gonna go into detail about like everything that happened then, but I'm gonna just fast forward. Let's say I was already working there maybe like like 6 months, maybe 6 months to a year at this point. And I was cool with the head teller, Chelsea, Selena, and then there was another woman. She used to just open up regular accounts and stuff. So she don't need no name really. We could just call her the accountant or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, y'all, so during this time, me and Selena, like I said, all of us were close, but then like me and Chelsea started having our own little tasks. Like I said, story time for another day. We started falling out. So we wasn't really cool like that anymore, but then it felt like the head teller and the accountant was more so gravitating toward her and kind of pushing me out, and was trying to bring Selena in with them to like kind of push me out the friend group, I guess you could say. Just drama. Y'all know how it would be in the workplace and with women. So yeah, they tried to push me out the group or whatever. So me and Selena didn't like that. She was just like I said, she was a real friend. So she was just like, no, like I don't really like how y'all doing her and stuff. So at this time, y'all, I was in the process of transferring from that location over to another location that's closer to where I live. So when I started working over there, I was still cool with Selena and I was still cool with Chelsea at this point. But then I want to say like maybe 2 months into me working there, I don't know, like the vibes just changed. The vibes got different. That location was just up and down, super busy. So all of them was trying to leave and go to other jobs, leave to go to other banks and stuff, right? So at this time, I was still somewhat friendly with the accountant and with the head teller. So fast forward, the head teller ends up, not the head teller, what's her name? The accountant ended up getting a job as like a assistant manager or whatever at another bank. So she didn't even say nothing to me. We were all like cool. Like they were a little bit older, but we were all cool for the most part. So Selena, this particular day, is just like, oh yeah, did you hear that, accountant got a new job at, such and such a bank? And I was just like, oh no, she ain't really say nothing. It was very weird. Come to find out, y'all, she was like, oh, well, I don't know why they didn't say anything. Like, I was like, well, it is what it is. Like, I don't know. I've been feeling like they've been on some weird shit, you know? So, I don't want to curse too early in the video now. So, she was telling me all of this. Fast forward, now it's like Friday night. Selena hits me up and she was like, girl, and I'm like, what happened? So she was like, why did accountant hit her up and tell her that they were having like a celebratory dinner and she was invited, and it was going to be her, Chelsea, and Head Teller there, and she wanted to invite Selena. Selena was like, no, like, I don't feel as though like that's like why Ayanna can't go. And they were just like, oh, like, you know, it's not a big deal, like, you know, she's doing her own thing. And she was like, you didn't even tell her, you didn't even invite her. And at this point, y'all, they were acting weird, but to just full blown not invite me, that was just like completely left field. But I was just like, it is what it is. So Selena was like, nah, like, I'm not going. She was like, you know what, better yet, let's go out that night. Like, let's us go out and do something, since they didn't want to invite you. So I was like, okay, bet. Like, I was always looking for a good time to go out, y'all. So we fast forward, and I was like, that Saturday, me and her, y'all know, me and Selena make our plans. I think this particular time I was going to her house. I was going to park at her house, and then she was going to drive to the, actually, no, I'm lying. I parked at her house, and her actual boyfriend, I think whoever she was dating at the time, took us to the club or whatever, bar, club, whatever it was, and, you know, was going to pick us up later on. So during this whole time, that whole story, that was just a little background. That's not really a big deal. I just had to give y'all why it led up to us going out this particular weekend. So yeah, they go out, and I guess they had their little dinner or whatever. I'm at her house, you know, y'all already know, we pre-gaming, we just having a good time. And what happened? We having a good time. So I think it was Snapchat, I don't know if it was Snapchat, Instagram, whatever, but we posted stories, they posted stories, but they were like posting shots at Selena, because it was like, oh, you didn't, and she didn't even say nothing. She was just like, nah, I can't make it because, you know, whatever. But she didn't say we were going out, but then we just ended up going out. So everything's fine. For some reason, y'all, I don't know why, back then I used to get drunk and get drunk. Now it's like I go out, I know my limit, I'm not doing too much. Like I told y'all, he flew me out, story time. Hospital completely traumatized me. So a lot of stuff, I just try to keep it, you know, low key. But this particular night, y'all, we was getting lit. Like we were like drinking. So, and y'all, I think we was drinking Taylor Port mixed with, what was we drinking? Taylor Port and Hypnotic, Hennessy. Y'all, I used to, if you know, you know, but I used to just drink like crazy stuff. So we was already pre-gaming off that. I was lit. We get to the, her boyfriend picks us up. He takes us down to the, you know, to the club. Club was maybe like a half hour or so away. We get there, you know, we inside, we having a time, we meeting different girls. Y'all know how it be, you drunk. Oh my God, you're so pretty. Oh my God, you're so pretty. Oh my God, I love your hair. That's just how it was for us the most of the night. We taking shots, we just having a good time. She showed me her phone. They throwing subs and stuff, but it's like, aren't y'all at a celebratory dinner? Why are y'all worried about what Selena is doing, or better yet, what I'm doing, since y'all didn't even invite me? Like, I don't get what the issue is. So we just getting lit, y'all. Now, fast forward, the end of the night is coming. Like I said, I think this particular bar, whatever, they closed at maybe like 2 in the morning. So at this point, it was like maybe 1:30. People started, you know, clearing out. Y'all, at this point, I'm lit. When I say lit, I mean lit. Like, I'm like, damn, like, call your boyfriend. He need to come get us. She was drunk, like stumbling drunk. Like, she was just too lit. So she was like, I can't hear him. She's, I'm going to call him, but I'm going to go outside because I can't really hear him. So you could just sit here at the bar. I was just like, okay, cool. I was sitting down at the bar, y'all. This guy walks up. Now, we'll name him Chip. Yeah, I think we'll name him Chip. Chip, only because he had like a little chip tooth in the front a little bit, y'all. No shade. But yeah, we're just gonna name him Chip. So Chip comes up to me, and y'all ever see that post where it's like a man, the way it looks like Beyonce, I think, right? And then it'd be like, squint your eyes, and you squint, and then it looks like a man, like a crazy looking person. That's how it was. So I didn't really remember what he looked like. I mean, from what I could tell, I knew he had dreads. He decent height, decent size, you know, he could dress, like he looked decent enough. So, you know, from what I could tell at the time. So he was like, oh, you know how it would be, like, oh, you know, oh, you here by yourself, you know, you shouldn't be out here by yourself. I was like, oh no, my friend just stepped outside. I was like, we waiting on our ride, she couldn't really hear. He was like, oh, okay, you know, my name is Chip. And I was just like, oh, okay. I was like, I'm Ayanna, nice to meet you, da da da. So he's like, oh, you done drinking? I was like, oh yeah, I'm good, I'm done. So he was like, oh, well, let me get your number or whatever, I want to get your number before your friend come back in or whatever. So I'm like, okay. So y'all, we exchanged numbers and stuff, and I was like, who you here with? And he was like, oh, I'm here with like some of my friends. So he like points over there. They over there talking to girls, at the bar doing anything. So he was like, do you mind if I sit down? I'm like, no. So he sits down. We talking, y'all know, go back and forth. Y'all know, drunk. And when I tell y'all, I don't remember the conversation, so I can't even give y'all details. I just know it was like enough for us to do the get to know you basis and then exchange numbers and go about my business. So like I said, we was just talking. Selena comes back in. She was like, oh, hi. And then he was like, oh, hey, I was like, yeah, this is my friend Selena. Da, da, da. So she was like, okay. He said, like, he was waiting on us. So she said, he's already in the area. He'll be here in like 10 minutes. I'm like, bet. So he was like, okay, nice to meet you. Let me get back over there. I'm going to text you. You going to respond if I text you? And I'm like, yeah, da, 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 da. He leaves. So he was like, okay, look at you, pulling numbers. Da, da. And y'all, at the time, I was single. So she was like, well, look at you pulling numbers. I'm like, girl, you know. So her boyfriend ends up coming. We get in the car. He's driving back. We're talking. Da, da, da. I'm like, you roll the windows down. I'm hot. I can't breathe. And he's like rolling the windows down. We laugh and we talking. Next thing you know, Selena is like, her head is like on the side. She's in the front of me in the passenger seat. Her head is like on the wall, y'all. Like on the, what is that? The little seatbelt, hard plastic thing. So she's like this. Next thing you know, you just hear, y'all, Selena full blown throws up all on her boyfriend's car. This nigga done swerved the car like, yo, I just got it cleaned. I'm like, guess that's how Uber drivers be feeling, but he was mad as hell. He was like, oh my God, Selena, da da da. But then, like, he brushed it off. It was what it. She was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, but I feel so much better now. Like, the room was spinning. So we laughing or whatever. He gets me back to my house. He was like, you cool to, get upstairs? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. So drops me off. Boom, y'all. I go upstairs, pass out. Early next morning, hangover. I'm in the bed, and I wake up to a text like, oh, hey, did you get home safe? And I was just like, who the fuck is this? Like, who is this? So I'm texting back. I'm like, who is this? And he was like, oh, Chip, you gave me your number last night. And I was just like, I did? Like, me? And he was like, yeah, you were about to leave and stuff. And I was like, oh, yeah, like, I remember, vaguely, da, da, da. So he was like, yeah, like, did you get him safe? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, okay. So we just having conversation. So he was like, where you from? Like, where do you live? Now we getting into that. Y'all, for the life of me, I still didn't remember what this man really truly looked like, because y'all know how it be. It's strobe lights, it's dark, I'm drunk, the vibes is high. You know how it be. If you really can't hear, it's hard for you to see, because one of your senses is not doing as well as the other one. Yo, so I was like, damn. So I called Selena and I'm like, you good? She was like, yeah, girl. She's like, I had to he had me in the back seat passed out while he was back at the little vacuum car wash place, vacuuming the car out and stuff. And I'm like, damn, that's ass. So I was like, you remember a Chip? She was like, yeah, he was talking to some guy or whatever. I was like, you remember what he looked like? She was like, he was cute. She was like, I kind of remember why. Like, he don't look like what he supposed to look like. I was like, I don't know. Like, I really don't remember what he looks like. She was like, tell him to send you a picture. Tell him, like, my bad, I was lit. I really don't remember what you look like. Send me a picture. And then y'all go from there. And if you think he's ugly, like, don't respond. Or be like, no, I'm good. I'm sorry. I got a boyfriend. Something like that. So I text him back and I'm like, oh, hey, I was like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I really don't remember what you look like. Like, do you care to send me a picture? So he was like, oh, nah, no problem. He was like, you do the same. I'm like, okay, cool. He sends me a picture. I'm like, okay, he's cute, whatever. Sent him one back. So now we talking, and he was just like, okay, you live out here, da da da. And I was like, no, I live like 20 minutes or so away. He was like, okay, well, I live like 5-10 minutes away from, the club that, that I was at last night. So I'm like, oh, okay, like, that's cool. What do you do? And y'all, I don't even remember what Chip did. I don't even really remember what he did for work. I don't remember. He had a job, but I really don't remember in detail what he did for real. So he's telling me this or whatever. So he's like, oh, do you have kids? And I'm like, yeah, y'all, no, I do not have kids. I'm like, no, I don't have kids. I'm like, you? He was like, nah, like, I don't have kids. But like, we were texting, but you could just tell, like, he was like, da 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 da, nah, I don't have kids. And I'm like, what's the dots for? And he was like, I mean, like, it's a weird situation. Now, y'all, before I tell y'all, can y'all comment down below and tell me what y'all think it is, like, the secrets that he was about to say? So he was like, yeah, but it's not a big deal. Like, I'm like, what you mean it's not a big deal? He was like, nah, like, I really don't got no kids, but like, we can move on from that. Like, we could talk about that later. Like, it's a touchy subject. Okay. So like I said, y'all comment down below and tell me what y'all think it is before I say it. So yeah, y'all, like, I want to say a few days goes by, we talking, we texting and stuff, and now he's like, okay, like, we should get together. It was another bar that I like to go to out, like, where the club was. So I was like, yeah, if you want, like, we can meet there, you know, get some drinks, you know, get some food. Their wings are bomb. So he was like, okay, cool, we could do that. So y'all, fast forward, it's like that, it wasn't that same week. I think it was like the following weekend or something. Drive out there, go to the bar or whatever. And he's like, oh, you gonna come back to my place after? I'm like, nah, I'm gonna go home. So he was like, okay, that's fine. So y'all, we meet at this bar. We having a good time. Vibes is good. Vibes is high. We chilling. We getting to know each other. Like, I was thinking about maybe going back with him. You already know, but I was just like, no, I'm not gonna do all of that. Y'all, we having a good time. So I'm asking him, I'm like, you know, what is your, like, what is the big deal? Like, what is it, why is it a touchy subject? Like, you either have kids or you don't. And he was like, nah, like, I didn't really want to tell you. I wanted to get to know you first so you could get to know me for me instead of, you know, judging me based off of, you know, a mistake. So I'm like, well, what happened? Like, what's up? Like, shit, you left the baby in the car too long or something? You lost the baby? Like, what happened? And he was just like, oh, nah, like, I met a girl and it was a one-night stand. Like, I knew her, like, you know, I think they went to school or something together in high school, but they never really talked. And I think they ran into each other like years later, sometime later, out at a club. You know, one thing led to another, one night stand. She came back to his crib and he was like, I got a baby on the way. Y'all. So I'm looking, got my little drink, and I'm like, you got a baby on the way? Like, she's currently pregnant? He was like, yeah, but I don't talk to her. Like, we don't got nothing. And I'm like, y'all already know that baby mom. But y'all, this is before Jordan. This is before Jordan and Delilah and everything. So I'm like, okay, like, all right. So I'm like, well, what's the situation? He was like, we don't talk. Like, we talk about, like, certain stuff. She be wanting me to go to her doctor's appointment, so I try to go. He was like, you know, but she wants to be with me. Like, she wants to work on a relationship with me. But I told her, like, I don't want that. Like, I don't want to be with you. I'm not interested in you like that. And y'all, everybody has their own opinion. He didn't want her to necessarily keep the pregnancy because he was like, we don't know each other. Like, it was just a one-night stand. Why would you want to keep the baby? So I don't know. He was saying, like, he felt like she was just trying to do that, keep the baby to, like, get in a relationship with him. And he could have been telling the truth. He could have been lying. I don't know. But I just feel like sometimes that is the case. Some women do, you know, think that a baby is going to change a man's mind. And that is not always the case. So he's telling me all of this. And I'm just like, oh, okay. And I'm like, so is that going to be an issue, a problem? He was like, no, I'm dating. Like, she already know what it is. Like, this is not that. Like, she be trying to, you know, press me. But we've never had no dealings. We never dated. She was ever my girlfriend. So I'm like, okay, cool. Y'all, that night is, you know, good, and now we moving on. At this point, y'all, we probably like 2 months in, and I think at the time, Shorty was like maybe 6 months pregnant at this point. Yeah, I think she was like 6 months pregnant. So he was like, yeah, and then, you know, once the baby gets here, we're gonna figure everything out, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, okay. So, yo, now we like 2 months in. At this point, you know, I've been going to his house, I'm linking him, you know, we going on dates, we having a good time. And this particular night, like I said, y'all, it was a little while in. I was going to his house, but I wasn't spending the night. This particular night, y'all, I decided I'm gonna spend the night. So we didn't really even go out. He was just like, we could order food, get some bottles or whatever, and we could just chill. Like, get a bottle and we could just chill and smoke, whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. So pull up to his house, and like he said, like, you know, here's a bathroom, here's my linens. Like, he had a nice little crib together. So I was like, okay. So boom, y'all, we chilling on the couch, we watching a movie, we eating. I forgot exactly, you know, what he got, but we eating, we chilling, we vibing. So I'm like, and I asked him, I'm like, well, what's going on with your situation? Because, like, he didn't talk about it. He was like, oh, nah, like, you know, me and her, we went to like, she had an ultrasound, like a little checkup visit or whatever, you know, everything looks good and stuff like that. She wants to do a baby shower, but, like, I really don't want to go. I feel like that should be for her family because, I don't know. And I was like, yeah, but you are the dad, like, you should go. Like, he was like, you know, I'll think about it because, like I said, at this point, y'all, she was like maybe 6-ish months. So she wasn't going to have the baby shower, I feel like, until, like, he said, like, she was like 7.5 months or something. So I was like, okay, cool. So, y'all, the night's going on. I was like, all right, I'm about to, you know, get in the shower. So he's like, okay. Y'all, I get in the shower, boom, get out. Now I'm sitting there, I'm on his couch, you know, rolling up, you know, having a good time, got the movie on, whatever. He's all right, I'm about to go take a shower. So I'm like, okay, cool. He goes to the bathroom, and like 5-10 minutes or so go by. You hear the water running. Out of nowhere, like, the water is still running, but then you hear, bro, why are you calling my phone? Why do you keep calling my phone? Like, I already told you what it was. Like, you getting on my nerves. So she was like, so I'm like, well, what the hell? Like, who was he talking to? Who was he talking to? So I want to go be nosy, y'all. You already know. So I'm creeping down the hallway. But he did have like wooden floors. So it's like you could hear the creaking. But I'm like, hopefully he don't hear me because of the water or whatever. So he's steady going off. I'm creaking down the hallway so I could get a better listen. And he was like, bro, I already told you what it was. Like, I don't want you in that way. I don't want you like that. If it's not about, you know, my child, we don't have nothing to talk about. So I'm like, right. You tell her. So y'all, I don't really know exactly what she was saying on the phone. So next, you know, you hear the water turn off. So I was like, well, let me get back. So I'm getting on the couch. I'm steady, you know, finish rolling up or whatever. He comes in and, you know, he's irritated, like he's aggravated. So I'm like, well, what's wrong? He was like, nah, the stupid ass, you know, she calling me talking about, oh, she's lit. And y'all, at this point, it literally was like 1 a.m. So he was like, she's talking about she lit or whatever. And I'm sitting here like, how you lit and you're 6 months pregnant? Y'all, am I tripping? Am I crazy? So I'm looking at him. I'm like, what you mean lit? He was like, she talking about some, you know, she feeling good or whatever, and she wants some, and she was like, I don't want to, you know, sleep with anybody else, but since, you know, I'm pregnant by you, like, we can. And he was like, I already told you this was not that. You wanted to keep the baby, so that's fine, but you can do what you're gonna do, but I'm not doing that. So I'm like, oh, okay, like, you know, that's crazy. So as he's sitting here telling me this, his phone is ringing. So he answers the phone and he puts it on speaker. So he's like, shh. So he puts it on speaker. So she was like, that's really crazy that you acting like that. Like, I get that you want to do you and stuff, but like, I have needs too. Like, and she's like, I have needs too. I understand that if you don't want to be with me, but you can at least try to be nice to me. Like, you can at least try to comfort me. Like, I'm going through this pregnancy by myself. And he's like, he was like, we're not together. Like, we didn't plan this baby. We're not together. Like, what are you talking about? He was like, bro, you're doing too much. He was like, I already got somebody over here. Like, you're doing too much. You interrupted my time. So she was like, wow, bet, and hung up. So I'm thinking like that's gonna be the end of it, right? Y'all, I'm thinking that's gonna be the end of it. He gets on the couch, gets dressed or whatever, and now we just sitting there, we smoking. Next thing you know, like, I want to say 20, y'all, 30 minutes go by, you hear boom, 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 boom on the door. Now, the way his apartment was set up, it was like it was sort of kind of like a townhouse, condo-ish townhouse. It was like 2 families. So you go up the stairs and, you know, you got the main door, just like similar to like Jordan's, I guess. And you got the main door, you had an apartment right there, and then you go upstairs, and then his apartment was at the top. So you can hear the banging, because y'all, at this point, it was like 1:45, 2 a.m. You hear the banging on the door all the way from downstairs. So he's looking at me, he was like, what the hell? Like, I was like, yeah, I don't know, maybe, I was like, is it your neighbor? Maybe he locked himself out, like, maybe he got somebody coming over. He was like, I don't know. He gets up, and where his house was, you can see the main street. So he's looking, you can't really see who's, like, at the door, but you, like, looking to see cars or whatever. So he's looking out the window, y'all, and he sees a car with its hazard lights on, like, both, like, the driver's side doors open and the passenger side doors open. So he's looking, but he's like, I don't know, it's a car right there. You just hear boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, you already know, his phone starts ringing. So I'm looking at him, and I'm like, did she pull up here? And he was like, bro, I swear to God, if she pulled up here, y'all, he answers the phone. He was like, what do you want? She was like, come open the door, you talking about you have somebody over there, like, we could all have a conversation. But and he was like, have a conversation about what? We are not together. So now, y'all, I'm like, are they together? Like, what really is this? He was like, bro, you need to leave my house, or I'm gonna call the cops. She was like, wow, you would call the cops? I'm pregnant. Da, da, da. He was like, exactly. It was 2 a.m. and you pulling up, then you hear somebody talking in the background. I guess she had a friend or whatever with her. So he was like, you came over here because I said I had a girl over here and we're not in a relationship, we're not together. He was like, am I lying? Am I wrong? And she was like, that doesn't matter, that has nothing to do with it. So now I'm like, okay, so you're delusional. I'm like, okay. He was like, bro, leave my house, I swear to God, or I'm calling the cops on you. Like, I'm not about to play with you. You just still hearing banging. Now it sounds like they're kicking the door. So now he's opening his door. You hear the neighbor like, hey, yo, Chip. Hey, yo, Chip. And so he was like, yeah. He was like, you know who's at the door? He was like, yeah, it's my crazy ass baby mom. Da, da, da. I don't even know why she's here. He's like, she's doing too much. He was like, bro. He was like, she gonna have to stop with all of that. Or, bro, like, I'm gonna call the cops. And he was like, no. Like, it's cool. So he goes downstairs, I guess. He was like, you stay here. He goes downstairs, and all the way downstairs, you hear them yelling, y'all. Yelling, 2 a.m, like, going back and forth. And y'all know, again, being nosy, I go out to, like, the like, toward the window, and I lift it up a little bit just so I could listen down, because now he's at the front door. He's like, you're crazy as hell. Why are you at my house? She was like, let me inside. I want to see who you're talking to. He was like, are we together? We are not together. So the cousin's like, that doesn't matter. Like, she's pregnant by you. My cousin is pregnant by you. Like, you should be doing more for her. Like he was like, I'm going to ultrasounds visits, I'm going to the doctor's appointments, I feel like that's all I need to do. She was like, no, you talking about you don't want to help her plan the baby shower, you don't want to go to the baby shower. He's like, y'all at my house at 2 a.m. for what? You just hear her starts crying, y'all, like, I don't understand why we can't work on things, I don't understand why this, like, what is it about me? He was like, I'm not interested in you like that. She's like, oh, but you was interested enough to sleep with me, and I'm like, true, but not really. Y'all know how that go. So he was like, that does not matter. Like, bro, he was like, I'm going to go back upstairs. I'm going to continue to enjoy my night. She was like, oh, you probably don't even got nobody over there. You probably just said that to piss me off. He was like, I don't care what you believe, but you can go about your business. So at this point, y'all, I'm just like, okay, like, I wasn't necessarily turned off, but I'm like, this is going to be drama. And I hate when men tell you in the beginning, like, oh, nah, you don't got nothing to worry about. And then it's always something to worry about. Like, I don't know. So door closes, he's down there talking to the neighbor or whatever for a little bit, and then he comes back upstairs and he was like, I'm sorry about that. So I was still standing by the window. He was like, oh, you was listening? I'm like, yeah, I was listening because I want to know what's tea. So he was like, nah, like, she should be leaving now. So I'm looking, and then they did pull off or whatever, right? So he's like, well, my bad, I'm sorry about that, like, I don't know why, she's doing all of that. And I'm like, was she drunk? And he was like, nah, like, I don't really think she was drunk, I don't really know why she said she was lit. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Y'all, fast forward, we enjoyed the rest of our night. Like, I wanted to, y'all know, but after all of that situation, I was just like, yeah, nah, I just want to smoke and go to sleep. Like, I guess I was a little turned off if you think about it. So, y'all, fast forward, like, maybe a few days goes by, right? I get a random Instagram request. Guess who it is? Shorty. Now, y'all, during this time of me and him dealing with each other, he had been showing me what, she looked like and stuff, just because after that whole situation. So she had randomly followed me. I don't know how she followed me, because me and Chip were real low-key with the Instagram stuff. Like, I don't do the whole Instagram stuff. Like, I might follow my man, but, like, posting him and, like, really us commenting back and stuff, like, back and forth, you're not gonna know exactly who he is. So I don't know how she found me. And me and him was nowhere near exclusive like that. Like, he was about to be my boyfriend or anything. So I'm like, how did you find me? So I accept the request, y'all. So this is before my page was public or whatever. So she sends me a message, and she was like, oh, hey, girl, like, I just wanted to know, like, y'all, and not really woman to woman, but I guess, like, she was trying to intimidate me. Y'all, I told y'all, she's knocking on the door saying housekeeping, but I told you I gotta, hold on. My bad, y'all. I had to make sure she wasn't knocking on this door. I could hear her say housekeeping, but like I said, I extended my checkout. So anyway, y'all, where was I at? So yeah, she was like, she wasn't really coming to me woman to woman, but a little bit. So she was just like, hey girl, I'm not sure if you know, Chip and we're not, we're having a kid together. I was like, yeah, I know. And she was like, and you're okay with that? I was like, yeah, are y'all in a relationship? Is there something I should know about? She's like, no, we're not in a relationship, but I feel like, him being with someone else and him trying to date somebody else, like, that's just kind of dampening what I'm trying to build with him for the future of our child. Y'all, I wanted to say so bad the child he didn't want, but, like, I'm not even trying to do all of that. So I was just like, oh, okay. I was like, well, if he, wants that, he'll let me know that. But as far as I'm concerned, we're vibing and, y'all have a child coming together. But she was like, that's weird that you're going to deal with a man that has a baby on the way. And y'all, some of y'all could be like, yeah, girl, you are weird for dealing with a man with a baby on the way. But again, y'all, wasn't my man. I was having fun. He was a good time. Go to work, chill, go to his house, pull up, have a good time, going out to eat. Like I said, y'all, I wasn't in the position. I was outside, young and turned back then. I wasn't really in the position of really being in a relationship. By the time I actually got with someone seriously, that was Jordan. That was like 3-4 years later. You get what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But I was like, if he's not trying to be on that type of time with you, trust and believe, if he wants to be on that type of time with you, I will leave him alone. But outside of that, like, it is what it is. And she was like, I feel like that's weird, but okay, cool. I said, okay, cool. I screenshot the stuff. I send it over to Chip, and he was like, how did she even find you? That's weird. So y'all, I'm telling my friends, I'm confiding in my friends. So at this point, they're like, I feel like that's just too much drama. Like, it's just doing too much. It's just doing too much. So I'm like, yeah, but I don't know. Like, it is what it is, right? Y'all, now, fast forward, and I don't even know how long this story time is going to be. This one might be a little bit more short, I guess, but we'll see. So, y'all, fast forward, this was, like, more toward the end of us, like, not really dealing with each other no more, right? This particular night, I decided that I was going to go out with one of my friends. She had came up from Jersey to come visit me. So, me and her, I take her to the same bar me and him went to on, like, I guess you could say our first date. Y'all, we go there. Y'all, right? why is he in there? But y'all, mind you, he didn't tell me he was even going out this night. He told me he was going to be chilling inside. He had work to work on, and he like did like podcast work and stuff. Yeah, that wasn't his job, but he did do like side like podcast hobby work or whatever. So he was like, told me that that's what he was going to be working on with his best friend. Why are you at the bar? So we walk in or whatever, and of course my friend, she knows all of this situation. She don't really, obviously if she saw him, she wouldn't be like, oh my God, isn't that so-and-so? So we sitting there, we at the bar or whatever. I turn around, I'm like, I hear a familiar voice. So I turn around and I look, y'all, his back is to me. He's sitting there talking to a girl. The girl didn't look pregnant. I already peeped what shorty looked like, so it wasn't her. So I'm like, what? Y'all. So I told my friend, I'm like, hold on. So I walk up, I'm like, hey. And he's looking at me, he was like, oh, hey, Ayanna, what's going on? And I'm like, what's going on? Hi. And then the girl was like, oh, hi, like, what's up? Da, da, da. And I was like, he was like, oh, no, let me talk to you for a second. I was like, no. I was like, oh, nice to meet you. I'm Ayanna. And she was like, oh, hi, I'm whatever. I'm Sarah. So I was like, oh, hi, Sarah, nice to meet you. She was like, oh, do you know Chip? And I was like, yeah, I do know Chip. I was like, we're actually, we're dating. We've been, hanging out and chilling. She was like, oh, this is my boyfriend. I was like, oh. So I'm just looking at him, just smiling. Y'all remember that scene from what movie is that? Is it Brown Sugar with Tay Diggs and Sanaa Lathan?
Hey! Guys, what's up? How you doing? It's funny running into you here.
Yeah. So I'm just looking, I'm like, okay, bet. So he's like, nah, let me talk to you for a second. I was like, we don't got nothing to talk about. You got me going through all of this drama. Your baby mom hitting me up. You don't want to be with the baby mom. You got me, da da da. And y'all, at this point, we have you know. So now I'm like, you here with a girl? So I go back to my friend. He's following me back over to my friend. I'm like, you good, Chip? Like, go ahead, go enjoy your date. Like, you're good. We don't have nothing else to talk about. Like, you're fine. I wish you the best in your whole situation. He was like, no, it's not even like that. Like, he was like, me and her, we were on and off or whatever. He was like, and it was on and off prior to me dealing with my baby mom and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you don't have to explain nothing to me, baby. You're good. You're good. So my friend is just looking and she was like, damn, like, she was like, that's foul. Like, that's ass. Like, that's foul. So he's like, it's not even like that. It's not even like that. Whole time, Shorty's just over there, like, awkwardly, like, looking now at us, like, on her phone. I'm like, you really, like, if that's your actual girlfriend, you need to go do your thing. I'm not your girlfriend. Like, I'm cool. Go do your thing. So he was like, damn, that's crazy. So next thing you know, I turn around, I'm talking to my friend again. Like, my friend was turning around looking, and she was like, oh, girl, they leaving. I was like, they probably should. It's mad awkward now. And she was like, she looks upset. So, like, I turn around, they walking out the door, he's trying to grab at her. She's like, get off me, da da da. Somebody else's problem. Y'all know this man had the audacity, right? We go on the rest of our night. I go back home, because like I said, she came up to stay with me. So we back at the crib. I get a text from him. He's like, let me explain, like, let me talk, like, and I'm like, we don't have nothing to talk about. Like, what do you want to talk about? You have a girlfriend, you went out, like, me and you were just hanging out, we were doing our thing. I think it's crazy that you have an actual girlfriend. You shouldn't be out dating. The baby mom situation, okay, but you have an actual girlfriend. Like, what? He was like, nah, it's not even like that. He was like, me and her just started talking again because my baby mom had hit her up, and then that kind of got things going with me and her. I'm like, you could have just said that. You could have just been honest about that. Like, I don't understand. Y'all, fast forward, I think I cut him off right then and there. A few months go by, Shorty has the baby. Y'all, right? Me and him still, I don't think that did I block him? I don't think I blocked him. I just stopped talking to him, and I still follow him on Instagram and stuff. So y'all, I'm looking on Instagram. Why this man on his story like, oh, all of the time I wasted, all of the crazy stuff that you was doing, why the baby wasn't his? And I don't know, y'all. I thought I heard stories about how you can get DNA tests and stuff before you have the baby. So I'm just like, well, what the hell? Like, I don't know. Baby wasn't his though. Baby wasn't his. He ended up not being with the girl no more because after she found out about me, I guess, like, he did his stuff. People just be doing too much on social media. So I pretty much put 2 and 2 together with that, and then put 2 and 2 together with that wasn't his baby. Y'all, this man gonna have the audacity to hit me up like, listen, I'm single now, for real, I'm single. That baby's not mine. Like, we can run it back. Like, I'm like, no, because you couldn't even be honest in the first place. Like, I'm straight. Like, I'm cool. And like I said, I that was my old Instagram, so I don't even think we don't follow each other, anymore. I think ever since then, he did have another baby, not another baby. He's had an actual kid, I guess, since then or whatever. But yeah, y'all. And I don't know. I feel like, honestly, I feel like she was trying to get him to sleep with her so much, like in the beginning, because I felt like low-key she probably knew that that wasn't his baby, so she was trying to have sex with him so that way, you know, she could say she was already like pregnant and it was his or something. But it was like either way you was gonna have to get a DNA test. So I don't know. And you see he didn't want to be with you, so I think his mom was like, yeah, you need to, somebody in his life told him you need to get a DNA test, and that was that. But yeah, y'all, that was everything that happened with that. But I hope y'all enjoyed this story time. I know it probably was a little shorter or whatever, but I just wanted to get something recorded for y'all and get it out. Like I said, we are gonna do the Tell All Tuesdays starting this week, and like I said, follow me on TikTok because I am gonna post the story time. Like I said, the one that I told y'all, I don't feel as though it's that long, but I am gonna also post it as a short on here too, because I just want to see what that's like, what it's hitting for. But yeah, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed the story. Be sure, like I said, to like, comment, subscribe, follow, continue to email me some of y'all crazy story times, because I like going back and forth. Like, I like giving y'all tea, but I like getting tea too. I'll be wanting to know the drama. But yeah, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I will see y'all in my next video. Peace.